Bad Boys of Footy book I wrote, and I remember going on, the publisher would organise interviews for you so you can talk about the book, try and flog it, try and sell it. And 5AA over in Adelaide, they have, I can't remember both of them, but one of them's Graham Corns. He's a former coach and footballer out of Adelaide, really well known, really opinionated, and kind of a bully in a way. And I didn't really know what I was getting into, but he was there, and he was kind of forcefully challenging me and taking me to task on some of the stuff that I'd written about. And I fell for it hook, line and sinker. I didn't play it particularly well because I thought it was just like this.
You're trying to help his show out too. You get that natural little...
have a rapport. And, but he was going, no, you can't say this, you can't say that. And I'm like, geez. But what he was doing is just playing for his audience. People expected him to be aggro. Right. And I was part of his little game. And that is unfortunately how radio works a lot of the time, in the talkback space, in that talky space.
Yeah, like a channel. You buy into that channel. Yeah, give me more
like,
of that.
Cornsey, he ripped into that bloke, didn't he? He got him. And there's people to whom that appeals. That's not my job to do any of that. I'm not interested in doing it. My job is to just...
it's good because it's the Gold Coast.
It's the Gold Coast, mate. It's a happy place.
Exactly.
It's a happy place.
Exactly.
It's a good place. It's a good place, and it gets tarred by the wrong kind of brush sometimes, and it's not fair. It's not right. And if you live here and you experience it day in, day out, you see that it is chock full of good people doing really good stuff.
There are no problems here.
Have a go. There's people having a go. Every city's got problems, but if there's people who you can genuinely have a crack here and do whatever you want. It's like the America of Australia, in a sense. Yeah. I'm a case in point. You're a case in point. You've made your own life. I've done my own thing. My experience, my pathway, I couldn't have achieved in Sydney or Melbourne. The opportunity wouldn't have been there. So the Gold Coast, I'm very thankful to the Goldie for providing that platform, and it's one of its endearing qualities. It's just you just put your hand up, get in, have a go, muck in, mate.
And it often happens in reverse for Queenslanders that go to Sydney. I remember doing quite well in Sydney because I was that other guy from a different part of the world. It was. Meanwhile, the Sydney siders were trudging away, going, "I'll never get into this thing." And along comes the Sunshine Boy. Hey,
he's a Queensland guy.
So it's funny how the magic works for other people.
Yeah,
I just lost my train of thought.
That's all right. What else do you want to talk about?
What sort of guitars you got?
Too many bloody guitars.
Yeah?
Too many.
What was your first guitar?
Very first guitar was a Yamaha 6-string acoustic guitar that I paid about $200 for when I was...
a lot of money.
25. I came to it 25. So I'm 45
So
now.
a decent guitar.
20 years ago. Yeah.
Oh, actually, my first was $200.
200 acoustic?
No,
electric?
it was electric. It was a piece of crap.
Yeah, to buy an amp.
But
Then I went from that. What came next? Then I went to a little Black Squire Stratocaster and a borrowed amplifier.
Yep.
And then I traded that for an Epiphone acoustic, like a jumbo one.
Yep.
And then the disease sort of kicked in, and I just started collecting stuff, bit by bit by bit. A Telecaster, my wife, most beautiful woman in the world, for more reasons than this, but this is just indicative. She got me for an engagement present a Telecaster, a Fender Telecaster, Sunburst one that I still have.
Nice.
And, I got a couple of tellies. I got an SG. I got a few weird and wonderful ones from Japan. And they're constantly coming and going. eBay does well out of me.
Yeah. Did I tell you, because I'm always going to Japan, that you in the Shinto religion, the ancient religion that you don't really see about, to be honest. I don't know anyone who actually practice it apart from visiting the temple. And
how good's Japan? Just quietly.
That's great, mate. Yeah, I wish it had the beach like this, though. I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
But it is great.
Yeah.
But the cool thing about that place is that you won't find a second-hand place probably anywhere. And my wife's from this place called Yokosuka, where there's a big army base where the war was actually signed off.
Oh, right.
The Americans took over this Yokosuka naval base, and to this day, it's where all the big base is. But it's a beautiful city for the same reason. There's no, you rarely see an American because they stay within the base. But the city itself is different because of that reason. So there's these couple of big second-hand stores that you see a lot of Americans in, but not a lot of Japanese people.
Yeah.
But if they do, it's wild clothes, like really Japanesey sort of gear, and particularly guitars. I've bought really cheap, great guitars there because no Japanese person will buy it because it carries the spirit of the last person that owned it. It's this underlying religious thing that no one really talks about, but
it's a fact.
It's more. That's why they don't get around in secondhand cars so much. It's more like we get news. This is cool thing. So if you like guitars,
there's the place
and leather jackets.
And leather jackets, yeah. What was that thing you were wearing the other night at the?
The tux. I got that.
The tux. That was
a one of 6. It was like a boy band.
It was fabulous, fabulous. The guitar shopping experience in Japan is amazing. There's that place in Tokyo, which is like a little epicenter for guitar shops. They're everywhere. It's like there's.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Pause.
You need to knock up.
Yeah.
Serial number?
Oh, it's not on the back of any of those cards, eh?
That you left down there.
Yeah.
It's been peeled off. On the big blue card, it's just, there's all it says is a barcode and the rest of the sticker's been ripped off.
Could you try the second and third drawer of my... Yeah? I couldn't think of where else it would be. And it's not stuck to the laptop, obviously. Yeah.
He wouldn't know that.
Yeah. Sorry, man. We'll only be another 10.
Yeah. Sweet.
And we're back.
Welcome back. To,
What do you call this? Well, the Gold Coast versus Drew Cruck podcast show.
Gold Coast versus Drew Cruck.
Yeah.
So you go in there, but the experience is amazing. You sort of look around and they don't really like you pulling stuff off the shelves. So you go, I like that Jaguar and I like that Mustang and that Telecaster looks pretty good. And they go, okay, you come over here, and they sit you down and they go, do you like Marshall amps, or do you like Fender amps, or do you like these kind of amps? And well, Fender's fine. And so they pull out a Fender amp. How would you like it set? And I don't know, just sort of turn it on. And they do that. But they're wearing little white gloves. Right. And then they go and get the guitars off the shelf and they sort of line them up around you on each on their individual stands. Yep. And then they leave you to it. Like here in Australia, no. You don't
You've
get
got
any
Barry
of that.
with the tattoo on his neck.
Sitting there behind there, just sort of, he's got the rollie, just ready, but tucked behind his ear, ready to go out the front. He's like, oh, man.
Oh, no, Stairway to Heaven again.
Bloody customers, mate.
Stop that.
They suck, customers. I'm on, while he's looking on the internet. But it was just a fabulous experience, and quite just a passion and a love for it. But
okay, which reminds me, I was going to raise a point before. This is why it's great you're running the breakfast show on ABC for the Gold Coast. Drive. And with this great, that's what I said before, it's the Gold Coast, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
It's really important to me. When I worked in SeaWorld there, I'm working with all these other kids for like eight months. And everyone, why are you working at SeaWorld? Oh, I couldn't get a job anywhere else.
Yeah.
And treating the tourists that way would really burn on me personally because I'm a bit of a showy sort of by nature. G'day, tourists. Come on, welcome to the Gold Coast. Yeah. That kind of proud of the place, and I want to show everyone, particularly tourists, that it's the best place
it's a good place to be.
Yeah. So, Aussies aren't known for service at all.
Not so good at it.
No.
Really. And there'll be people who argue otherwise, but it's not a... We're kind of, just figure it out. You'll be right. Just sort it out yourself.
Yeah.
Find your own way. You'll be okay. Thumbs up, tops. Just ask me if you need something, but if you don't, that'd be okay too.
But yet we're known as friendly people.
Yeah, it's quite bizarre.
I think we have our own personal, what's the word? Like, who are you to talk to me? We have none of that class sort of system, say
perhaps.
like Japan, where you're
I don't know what it is, but there's definitely a thing there. That it's not the most natural extension of ourselves to go, come on in and have a, here, look at these four guitars. Let me collect them for you. Let me polish them once you're done. It's just a different vibe.
The funniest thing to do is spend some time in Japan, and your mind goes to that sort of, you could get your car serviced, and if you drive your car out, all 6 guys from the shop will come out to the footpath and bow and like 10 times and say thank you, covered in grease, and they're all like their hands behind their back. Then you fly into Coolangatta Airport. It's just beautiful. It's like 1984 Darwin Airport, it feels like. And some bloke with a ciggy, taxi. You need a taxi, mate?
No worries.
Flicks it in the garden.
That's all right.
No, not me. You want us to go see Beryl over there?
That one. No. Next one.
Hilarious.
Beauty. Nope, you're right there, mate.
Hilarious.
Yeah. We're a strange old mob.
Where was the last time you went on holiday? We've only got, put it there, mate.
Are we nearly done?
Well, I think you've got some big time stuff to do.
Where are we looking?
About 10:30.
I'm interviewing a blues band, mate.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Who's that?
They're called the BB Factory.
All right.
And I met them at the Gold Coast Music Awards.
Excellent.
And they're playing at Blues on Broadie next week. So they're
Which
coming
you
in.
emceed like a champion. What a great event that was.
Wasn't it good? And the variety. Yeah. So that's a hidden gem, you know, that eclecticness that the Gold Coast has. You know, you've got those Tesla Coils guys who are electronica, kind of wild electronica. You had metal bands being represented. You had, you know, rootsy styles. It's just, you look at it and you go, that is the city. That's what this place is like and what it offers. And it's high class. It's it's elite level. And it's just a question of figuring out a way of retaining that vibe, but people realising that it exists at the same time. It's a hard balance to get right, but they're on the right track. Sammy Morris, she does a wonderful job.
Exactly. I haven't seen anything like it. You know, if I moved here in '99, and everything kind of stayed the same until Q1 was built, and then you know, things started to really happen after Q1. Obviously, it feels like wow for them to put on the Gold Coast Music Awards, helping Sam Morris out that way. And the stage and Amy Shark even becoming popular. It's like this cool funnel has happened for this city. And here you are hosting it.
That's fabulous. I loved it.
Yeah, it was like, you see what's happening? We're actually starting a culture again. Yeah. Like, I don't know. Not that we didn't have one, but it's having someone to walk around the street. I say it about Joel Parkinson, Mick Fanning.
Yep.
How good that is for my kids to know there's a world champion just over there and there's Amy Shark just over here. Because up in Logan, where I grew up, we didn't have that. Yeah. And it was sort of bred some negativity in all the kids I knew. Like, you know, man, what are we going to do?
Role models, mate.
Yeah, to actually visually see and
we undersell. I think we undersell role models.
Oh, yeah.
But Amy Shark, she's an amazing, you know, even if you don't like her music, she is such a humble and graceful champion of what she does. And, you wish her every success.
Yeah, well, her cool story, I mean, 2-second story, because you wonder, like, where does her music come from? Well, Chippy was there. Chippy's been the sound guy at the Coolangatta Hotel. Yeah. I drove him up to see the Cult. He mixed the support band for the Cult. We did a podcast on the way back, and he told me that. He goes, Amy Shark, she just got signed. And I went, I'd never heard of him. He goes, her real name's this, something else. And he's been mixing her as a solo artist in restaurants and places for like 10 years. She's only young. Yeah. She's legit. Yeah. You know, the record she come out with, that's her ears going, no, this is what I like. And it's you know, when you hear music come out of the stereo now and it's modern, you go, oh, it's got to be producers and weirdos and Amy Shark is probably just some plant. Yeah,
exactly.
Well, it's the total opposite.
Mate, my first experience of the Bleach Festival, they have that thing down at Tugun, Food Street, or they call it. And there was a stage set up at the beach end of Taluna Street or whichever it was. And she was first on stage that day. That's about 3 or 4 years ago. And I was, like I did the Gold Coast thing, you do the odd MC gig. Yeah. And I presented to the stage. It was just, I was taken by her humility. She gets up there. I don't even think she's wearing shoes. She gets up there. She's only a little slip of a thing, big stage, and gets up there and she's got a guitar slung around her neck. And she just held this crowd in her hands. And this was well before Adore and anything else she's done. And you looked at her and you go, wow, she's going to go places. She's amazing. Wow. She's an incredible, incredible thing. She had the loop pedals going and things, you know, all sorts of stuff just on her own. It was really something to see. And but, you know, then she saunters off and, you know, then she just went for a walk down on the beach afterwards. And there's just there's just a Gold Coast vibe about it. And she's happy to keep it, like it.
Is that what's going to happen with you, Matt Webber?
run off down the beach barefoot.
I've probably seen that already.